Good morning, Apollo Baptist Church, and anyone else that's listening. Today is Monday, it's November 9, and I want to talk to you about being thankful. As a child, I was coached by my mama and my daddy to say thanks when someone would do something for me. And my children, when someone would give them something or when there was an expression of thanks that was needed, we would say thank you. And usually they would. But there is a great difference between saying thank you and being thankful. There's a huge difference. And I want to talk to you and me today about being thankful. To be thankful, you have to know some things that maybe most don't know. Or if you will, you need to perceive or see some things that other people don't see. And I believe that that is the presence of God. You need to know and understand and believe that there is a God who is present with you. He's not vacant. He's not somewhere else. He's with you. And He is good. And He is working His good plan in my life or in your life. That great famous verse, Romans 8:28. But we know that God is causing all things to work together for good to those who love Him and to those who are called according to His purpose. You see, if you know that God is with you, and you know that God is good, and you know that God is working all things together for good, there is a sense that you will be able to say, thank you, oh God, thank you, thank you, thank you. Even when other people may look at you and go, what? A perfect example of that, and it's one of my favorite examples of that, is in Acts 16. You can read that whole passage and get the context of it. Yeah, in a vlog, there just isn't time for that. But Paul and Silas have been thrown into jail. They are doing missionary work in the city of Philippi in the Macedonian area. And they're doing what God wanted them to, and they infringed upon a businessman's financial gains, and he got upset, had them thrown in jail. They were beaten, and then they were put into the dungeon, and then they were put into stocks and bonds, and that's not a financial vehicle when it is used in that sense of the term. That is a means of causing them to be even greatly or more greatly secured and tortured while they were in prison. And it says in chapter 16, verse 25, about midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns of praise to God, and the other prisoners were listening to them. Yeah, you know they were. They thought they were nuttier than a fruitcake. What are these guys praising God for, singing? And the other prisoners were listening. It's like, this is weird. This is different. When you see what others don't, when you know that there is a God who is present, and you know that that God is good, even though what's happening to you doesn't feel good, and you know that that good God is working His good plan in your situation, even though from the external it doesn't seem very good and doesn't seem like there's any plan at all, it causes other people to go, what? And that's exactly what the prisoners were doing. And but Paul and Silas they knew that God was there, and they knew that God was good, and they knew that God was working a good plan, and they sang and they praised God. I want to be like that. I do, and you do too. It's so easy to be controlled by my feelings and my physical flesh, physical perception. Oh, it's so easy. Well, the verse goes on and it says, and then there was a great earthquake, and the doors were popped open and the chains fell off. I mean, clearly it was a miracle. It didn't just happen at that moment. It was a miracle. God was working. And what I gather from that is when I see that there is a God that's good and He's working His plan, God works. And I want God to work in my life. You want God to work in your life. Yes, yes, yes. And God did work. And the jailer saw that the doors had popped open. He took his spear and he was going to commit suicide, because that's exactly what um, the officials would do to him. If a prisoner gets loose under your guard, you get killed. And so he was just going to do it for them. And Paul yells out to him, "Don't harm yourself." And this jailer said to Paul and Silas, "What must I do to be saved?" Essentially what he was saying to these guys was, you guys have something I don't have. There's something about you that's different than anyone I've ever been around. I want what you have. And you know, there is a real reality of that. When you and I don't make this up, and don't try to pretend, but when you and I genuinely acknowledge, you know, I have a good God and He's working a good plan in my life, and the circumstances right now are not altogether easy, or they altogether feel good, but God is good. And you and I give honest praise to God, and God works. And God will cause people to listen in a deeper way than they've ever listened. And God will draw people to Himself in a way that is maybe better than anything we've ever done. And the jailer said, "I need what you have." And so Paul and Silas led him and his family to Jesus. A man was saved as a result of a thankful heart. God works powerfully through being thankful. And so I would urge you, and I urge myself, God, may we see what others don't. May we see that you are with us, that you are good, and that you are working a good work in our lives. And may we not be controlled by our feelings or our external perception, but may we see beyond the surface, and may we praise the God who is at work. And oh God, work in us, work through us, and draw people to yourself. All right, have a good day and have a thankful week. I'll talk to you later.